Hey everybody, Maggie Mordaunt with Women's Defense Network. Here's an important video. Cleaning, care, and maintenance. It's really important to understand how to clean your own firearm. We want to be able to depend on yourself. It's great to understand how to clean that gun, to be able to accomplish it all on your own. One of the first things we start off with is safety. Now, I have a concealed carry firearm here. It is in its use form, so what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to unload it. Keeping it in a generally safe direction. Rack in that slide. Cartridge came out. We're going to physically and visually inspect to make sure that there is no more ammunition in the firearm. Now, what we do recommend is doing a two-person check, and I already checked it once. Me checking again will satisfy that two-person check. All right, so before I even put this back on the table, I'm going to take this ammunition and we're going to get rid of that ammunition, because when we clean our guns, we want to make sure there is no ammunition on the table or in the area where we're going to be cleaning a firearm. So I'm going to go and take this and put it somewhere else. All right, so one of the first things we do is, let's just say I went to the range and I'm shooting my defense pistol, staying in good practice with that gun, but I'm at the range and they say no cleaning of firearms on the range, because usually it's because the products that a lot of people use has a really bad odor. A lot of the cleaning products out there generally say you need to be in a well-ventilated area. So this product, we don't actually have to be in a well-ventilated area. It doesn't have that high ethanol, heavy odor that is just really offensive. This cleaning product is not an offensive product, and it is a better product for your firearms as well. I don't have to have gloves on when using this product either. It doesn't irritate my skin. I have pretty sensitive skin, and I've always found that when using it, it doesn't irritate my skin. So what I'm going to do first is we want to clean the areas that get a lot of carbon buildup. Generally, that's the feeding ramp, the lands and grooves in the inside of the barrel. Those are some areas that we definitely want to clean for that light cleaning until I get my firearm home and I can disassemble the firearm at my own house and not have to do it at the range. So the first thing I'll generally do is keeping that gun pointed in a generally safe direction. We got to make sure we follow those safety rules. Keeping our finger off the trigger, because we're not shooting the gun, we're cleaning the gun. Also, keeping that ammunition out of the area. We've already satisfied that. So next, what I'm going to do here is looking inside. This gun's not too dirty. I mean, it's in pretty good condition. So first what I'm going to do is use the military grade solvent from Breakthrough Clean. Picking up the gun with that proper one-hand grip. Spraying it down into the chamber, on the feeding ramp, and down into the barrel. I've got my nice soft cloth here. Next, what I like to do is I have my pistol cleaning kit from Breakthrough Clean. I'll use my bore rope. Back there. So the bore rope is actually pretty cool. You can use this, keep this in your range bag. I always recommend having some products in your range bag, at least having that cleaning solvent. Two different types of oil is what I usually keep in mind. Two different types of viscosities of oil, which we'll talk about those later. But first and foremost, taking that bore snake, unraveling it. Looks kind of like a shoestring with this little brass tip on it. If you open it up, you'll see it has a little bristle brush here, but also in the rope, it actually has impregnated the little copper bristle brush as well in there. So be careful not to grab that. It can actually cut you. So, it just kind of gives you a little paper cut type of feeling, and we know paper cuts are terrible. Hate paper cuts. So again, picking up that gun with that proper one-hand grip, keeping the gun pointed in a generally safe direction. We're going to take this little brass tip part down into the mag well, out through the ejection port, taking the little brass tip, placing it into the chamber, letting it feed all the way through the barrel, out of the muzzle end, wrapping it around my hand. Let's just get that out of the way. Now I'm going to pull the rope through, pull it through. Now you'll see that first brush comes through, all the way through until you have about, maybe about an inch or so out of the bottom. So as we're pulling the rope through, it's just going straight through, and we're kind of bypassing the feeding ramp. The feeding ramp is where we get a lot of carbon dust buildup. So the way we can actually satisfy cleaning that feeding ramp is now keeping that gun pointed in a generally safe direction, pull the bore rope back through, but as I'm pulling it back through, I'm kind of torquing it downward so that it does go over that feeding ramp. And again, I'm going to pull it back through, again, torquing it so it actually gets on to that feeding ramp, going back and forth. Cool. Nice. Feeding ramp is all nice and clean now. Not that this gun was really in that bad a shape to begin with, but I am going to pull some other ones from the wall that I know that a bunch of students actually just recently shot. And so you'll get to see the difference, because I'll show you guys the difference, the before and afters. But that basically satisfies cleaning the internal area just when you're at the range without having to take your gun all the way apart. And you've at least got the feeding ramp, the chamber, and the barrel all nice and clean. So there's no disruption of the cycle of ammunition into the areas where that ammunition needs to go. There's nothing getting in the way of the bullet spin, when it goes down the barrel. One other thing you want to keep clean is the exterior part of your gun, but we'll do that last. All right, so we're done with the bore snake. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to replace some of the oils that burn off when shooting the gun. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that oil. I'm going to go ahead and use the Battleborn HP Pro from Breakthrough Clean. It's got this nice little nozzle there, and so some of the areas we'll actually replace oil on is on the inside. You'll see on the slide in the interior, right there, and then that little bar that's in the middle of the slide, you can kind of see that in there. Put it there, and then at the very, very back here, just put like maybe one little dot. Okay, and then on the top end of the barrel, we like to just kind of do a little zigzag of oil there. And that's about as much oil as I'll usually put on my gun when I've just did a light cleaning of it at the range. Okay, and then we'll just kind of cycle that back and forth, kind of distributing a little bit of that oil until I can get it home and give it a really, really good cleaning. Okay, so that would just be a light cleaning at the range if I'm test firing or if I'm practicing with my gun at the range. Usually wipe the outside with this nice cloth. Get all that dirt off of it. This gun was kind of dirty from the outside, really. And there you go. That's a light cleaning on the Springfield XDS. There you go. So I do highly recommend Breakthrough Clean products. Pretty easy. No irritation of the skin. This is Maggie Mordaunt with Women's Defense Network. That is Cleaning Care and Maintenance.